Hey guys, this is Laurie.
And this is Bryony.
And today we're going to get back to one of your questions, which was, what are the main things to take in consideration before doing a first bodybuilding comp?
Indeed. And our number one would be training experience.
So what is that?
So you want to at least have 1 to 2 years training experience to have built a foundation of muscle, but also to have got into that routine of obviously training and know what to experience, because there's a lot of training involved.
Exactly. Think about the bigger picture. Going to a prep, you basically go into a fat loss phase, but it's not during that phase that you're going to build muscle, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So the work has to be done before. Just when you do the fat loss phase, you just strip the fat away from your body so you can see the work that you've done previously.
How humbling is it when we did our first comp that we were like, oh, this is what we look like.
On my first comp, I've never done shoulders before. I've never had shoulders in my program. And I was looking at you, Delta, I was like, where are mine? I don't have any.
Where are they?
So yes, think about that first.
Cool. Next one.
Headspace. 3, 2, 1. Mindset.
All right, do you want to talk to that one?
Mindset is just so important, because during that prep, you're gonna have good days for sure, especially at the beginning. Motivation is so high, you're so pumped,
excited.
Yes,
you don't know what to expect.
Exactly, until you feel like you hit a wall and you're like, hold on, why am I doing this for?
Yeah.
Everyone else around me is having food, partying, going out, and I'm like here hating my life, dieting, getting my steps, not having time for myself. So yes, you have to be fucking strong in there, because when motivation is gonna go, you have to have the discipline to keep ticking the boxes. Because when you prep, everything has to be perfect. There's no room for mistake.
It's like you don't want to have created those habits and rituals and everything else that serves you at that point. You want to have already nailed all of those processes, and then you're kind of smooth sailing. Like, prep doesn't actually have to be hard. It's hard because how we are and how we perceive
100%.
it. Like, obviously there's good and not so good ways to go about doing a prep and with a coach and things like that. But at the same time, if you kind of got all of those underlying factors in place where you're good and you're solid, you've got a support network. Oh, that's a new one. You should be good. Not to say that it's easy. It's not easy, is it, Laurie?
Like, there's a lot of people asking us, how do we do to be on track for so long? Well, I feel like whenever we start the prep, we flip a switch. There's a button that is pressed and we're like,
you're on.
Nothing can, get me off track. You have to have that mindset.
You can't be like, I don't feel like it today, so I'll get the fuck on with it.
When you prep.
I don't fancy doing my extra cardio, or those steps in the rain, or I don't want to eat this meal prep. Nah, get fucked, you just crack on. Tough love. Number 3, relationship with food and yourself.
Why is that so important, Brie?
Because you want to go in to your prep, again, following on from like mindset, but with a good relationship with food, because you don't want to be having those behavioral patterns that are like binge, restrict. Definitely if you've got any, you can talk to this one, but like you don't want to have like those unhealthy eating habits or eating disorders, thinking that's going to solve your problem. That's going to heighten everything. And again, it's just going to bring to surface anything that's not already dealt with.
100%. And talking for myself, well, I've had really bad eating disorder in the past. I've had anorexia, I've had bulimia as well. And if this is not fixed, whenever you start prepping, this is gonna wake all your eating disorder symptoms up for sure. Because we have a reptile brain that is reminding us, I have been in a situation like that where I was starving myself in the past, and I don't like that. So it's just gonna, all the things like,
exacerbate.
So sort it out, then you can do it.
And then on a lighter note, because that is a bit deep, but it's important. Like just tracking your food or having an idea of exactly what a balanced diet looks like. Although saying that, prep isn't necessarily balanced, but you try and do it in the healthiest way possible. So having a good relationship with food is a given. Don't know if you want to add anything to that.
As Bryony said, you have to know what calories and macros are. That's the basic ones.
Like you're going to have a coach, but like, well, you should have a coach.
Chances are that the coach will say, okay, calories, carbs, fat, protein, steps. And then you're like, okay, what's carbs, what's protein? So you have to have some sort of knowledge here.
Which actually would lead me on to saying to either have a coach or a support network, probably both.
So that would be number 4.
Support network.
What does it mean, Bryony?
It can come in many forms. A coach, someone who's been there, done that, and is going to guide you. But support network could also be like family, friends, because it can be, it doesn't have to be, but it can be a very lonely road to stage. However, you will meet a lot of people and friends along the way, or make friends, which is always fun. So it doesn't have to be that way, but you definitely want to have people who understand where you're at and what you're doing, because it's not a everyday thing. And unless you've been through a prep or have been with someone perhaps going through that, I feel like it's quite hard to understand what that involves.
100%.
There's highs and there's lows, and there's everything in between.
That's why, first of all, I would start, number 1, by letting everyone else around you know that you're undertaking that process. Because
you need to tell
for me,
them.
what's really important, and that's what I always like to remind to my comfort client, is that you have to tell them, just so if they have any like social event, if they want to take you out for dinner and stuff like that, you can say, okay, hold on, I'm prepping. Instead of going to a restaurant, let's just go for a walk, and like a coffee walk, things like that. And also something that is important to say is that some people around you won't understand why you're doing this, and they'll find it weird, or like they just, I don't know.
But they don't have to understand.
Exactly. And this is why when you prep, chances are that you will hang out with way less people. Maybe you'll just spend time with other girls that are competing just because they are going through the same process as you. But yes, your circle of friends is just going to get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And if you have a boyfriend as well, or if you have a girlfriend or a partner in general, you have to be ready, because it is going to put some pressure on the relationship. Libido goes down, you have no energy to do fucking anything. Sometimes you want to go home, you don't even want to talk. So it is important that you talk about this with your friends and with your partner, if you have one.
Done.
Last one?
Costs.
I think WBFF is more expensive.
Depending on the federation you go with, then there's going to be extra costs. But I think it's a fair statement to say that competing in general is expensive.
It is really if you're female, it's worse.
So it's an expensive hobby, if you want to call it that. It's not a hobby, sport. It's an expensive sport.
But yeah, if you want to like talk about the main thing, first of all, I would say just being a member of federation, so you pay for the membership. Then the show, you pay for. Let's say if you do 2 categories, you pay for 2. If you do 3, you pay for 3. For example, if you have like first timers, novice, whatever it's called, you pay each time you jump on stage, basically.
Hair, makeup, coach, tan,
posing coach, mindset coach,
the food,
and the supplements as well.
Bikini for sure. Oh yeah, bikini should probably be up there as like the first one.
Oh my god,
Heels.
I would say it's okay if you go with us second hand, or the one that you can select on website. You can find cheap ones, but if you go custom made,
ding 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 ding. Bye.
So bikini, heels,
jewelry.
Yes, and then you also have to think like, where is the comp? Do I need to book
Yeah,
an
accommodation.
Do I need to book a flights? I've competed overseas in Europe. Let me tell you that it is more expensive in Europe than here.
Pretty much that's
I think
the
that's
main thing.
The main things.
But you're talking grand, like grandage.
Yes.
Not one.
No one.
$1,000. Hair extensions,
which is 1,500 just by itself. So talking about grands, let's be honest, around 10,000
on a good day. Don't tell Jack. And Jack's like, another one, and I'm like, you're paying?
Oh yeah, and if you do fitness, you have to pay for the other outfit, and same as you. If
registration, so again, at WBFF, you got Rego, looking all very like your glam, your finest.
Yeah, angel, you have the wings. I mean, there's just so many things. But let's stop it there, because you're gonna fucking freak out.
They're like, I'm out. How can we wrap this up? So to summarize, there are all the things that you should consider before you're looking into competing. But one other thing that we would highly recommend doing is actually going to check out the federation that you would like, but also other federations, and go and watch a show so you can actually be amongst it, be in the crowd, get excited. I remember actually when I went and watched Ice, I was
the very
so
first
nervous
time
watching them. I was like, how am I going to do that?
I was like, I'm never going to be there.
And then look at us.
So go and watch, because chances are that you fit more into one federation, then you go there, you're like,
look, the posing, everything, the whole kind of production of it.
And also just go there and watch different categories, just so you also know, should I go for bikini, should I do for figure, should I go for fitness?
See what you
So,
like.
yeah, that's a good tip.
Done.